A topic that I have seen pop up quite frequently has been the quote, Trailsification of the Ys series. What started out as a simple adventure title focusing on Adel bumbling his way through ruins and adventures and meeting all kinds of kooky characters along the way, has started ballooning more and more in recent times. And I've seen a decent amount of Ys fans complaining about this fact, that the recent Ys titles have too much dialogue, there's too much story, too many cutscenes, too many characters, that they just want to pick up the game and play the game. And do I personally think this is an issue? I mean, I'm probably kind of biased when it comes to this, considering my position, but ultimately no, I don't. But of course I'm not gonna say it's because I'm a Trails fan that I think, oh yeah, make this series more like this other series that I like. Yes, of course, good falcom, yes. Bend to my every whim. No, it's not anything crazy like that. It's just, after playing through Ys 1 and 2, okay, well, I'm not finished with these two yet, but hey, I can still talk about it. Those games are very simple and very fun, and a lot of the NPC dialogue and stuff is very surface level, and can also be skipped. You don't have to engage with it. The story is also very, very basic, which it also extends to the villains and just Adel's adventures in general. But over the course of time, as the games have grown in popularity and size and scope, they've started to focus more on actually telling proper stories. Now I can only speak from the perspective of Ys 8 because that's the only recent Ys title that I've played, but from my understanding, this is something that's been slowly building up since, well, Ys 1 and 2, and really started to take off with Ys 6, and more importantly, Ys Origins, which came out all the way back in 2006. But as someone who enjoys characters in their games, and as someone who also enjoys a really good story, I look at Ys 8 and I don't really have a lot to complain about in that department. And I do think some people do overblow the, quote, Trailsification aspect of the Ys games quite a bit. Like, they are still very much focused on Adel and his adventures, and they are very heavily focused on the actual gameplay. Like, I would say the mix between gameplay and story or cutscenes or dialogue in Ys 8 was pretty evenly split, from what I remember. And in my opinion, having characters be more fleshed out and in-depth just makes them better characters. You become more attached to them. You want to see more of their interactions with not just Adel himself, but with other characters around them too. Like, in Ys 8, I love the little castaway village and all the different people that slowly joined your village over time, and over time, you got to know more about them and see them go through all kinds of changes and hardships and trials. And without any of that, you wouldn't have any kind of connection to them. Not even to mention the story with Adel, Donna especially, probably one of the best female characters in the JRPG. Is that fighting words? Ys 8 was my second Ys title and my second ever Falcom game, and it's one that has left probably the biggest impact on me. Because, yes, I played Ys 8 before I played any of the Trails games. And while I definitely prefer Trails for its storytelling and characters and world building and all that stuff, Ys 8 will remain a very special game in my heart because of the story and the depth of the characters. And no, I don't even think Trailsification is even applies to the Ys games, because they are still very much Ys games at their core. Having characters be more expressive through their dialogue and actually having a bit more complexity to them, that's not exclusive to Trails, that's just basic level storytelling and writing. But in my opinion, it just makes those games even better. The more you can flesh out a character, the more you can flesh out a story, the more memorable it is at the end of the day, in my opinion. gameplay can only take you so far. But also at the end of the day, these are games, and gameplay is one of, if not the most important factor of a game. On the flip side, I never see this problem in reverse. As somebody that is very in tune with the Trails side of the community, I watch a lot of videos, read a lot of comments, browse a lot of forums. I've seen a lot of different opinions on the series. A lot. And in regards to Daybreak, when they added the action gameplay, and Daybreak 2, Kai, to an extent as well, I never saw anyone bring up the complaint that, oh, they're Easifying Trails. It was always more, oh, they're adding action gameplay to Trails? Oh, cool, I'm curious to see how that works. You know, just sort of genuine curiosity, and just wanting to learn more about how that will be implemented in the games. Now, like it or dislike it, that's not what I'm here to discuss, but that type of viewpoint has only ever been seen in one direction, at least by me. If you have seen that type of mentality from a decent number of the fandom, then please show me some of those comments or posts if they do exist. But it is very curious to see that, as far as I'm aware, it's only ever in one direction. It's never the other way around. I wonder if it relates to more how Ys is centered around, well, an adventure. It's meant to be more gameplay focused. So over time, people have just gotten used to that type of system. And when you add more dialogue, you add more cutscenes and characters and stuff, those types of people are more acclimated to one type of environment. And then adding in those things on top can make it feel like a different type of environment to them, maybe? And that's where their issues stem from. To them, it feels like Ys is losing its original sense of identity by going more heavily into the narrative route? Possibly. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Ys games are becoming too Trailsified? Or do you think the current Ys titles are going down the proper path as far as wanting to tell more complex stories or deep stories, or just more intricately designed stories overall? Let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious to hear you guys' thoughts. And of course, before you guys head out, make sure to hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you enjoy these kind of videos. And of course, a very special thank you to all my current channel members and supporters over on Patreon. Anybody else wants to join and support me going forward? Links are in the description. Take care of yourselves, guys. See you in the next one. And stay spicy.
All right, what's next?